A eulogy to Alex Trebek by Aaron Chen.
What is extreme sadness?
Oh, that's... All right.
Hey, Jesus.
Let's come on in.
Is this the place for the movie?
Yeah.
Is this hello?
So when do we start recording?
It has begun. Are you hiding something?
I have a gift. We have a gift for you.
You have a gift for us. What have you got?
It's a-
Oh my
pot
God.
plant.
Do I have to
Dude,
give my gift?
you can
as
put it
well
over
now?
here.
It looks good here. I'll put it next to the toilet paper.
Do I put my gift down
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another
perfect.
gift.
Oh, you've got a gift
You
too.
got a gift? What'd you get us?
It's a shopping bag.
Oh, nice.
It's a carry bag.
Yeah,
And it's environmentally conscious.
Yes. If
Wow,
I'm
we got a
if I'm
pot-
gonna kill a dolphin, I'm gonna do it myself.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
What do you want to come inside?
Yeah, sure. Let's come inside.
I reckon we should do it here.
The Stairhouse Podcast. Welcome to the show, boys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
You both made it.
Yes.
You had to traverse suburbs to get here,
Yes.
and you sort of did it.
I was 45 minutes late. That's
Yeah.
the elephant in the room.
That's the elephant.
Yeah.
And it's good to call out the elephant early on in a podcast. Aaron Chen was late.
But that's in the grand scheme of things. 45 minutes is quite a small amount of time.
It's very insignificant in terms of our lifetime.
So maybe think
He's
about
right.
that.
When you panic, do you panic ever about tardiness or being late or anything?
Evidently not.
Yeah.
No, I was a bit. I was antsy on the road. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm letting so many people down. I thought Redfern to Marrickville. In my mind, that's like it's next door. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was 33 minutes.
Well, in some ways it is next door, but you know, if you're on the opposite end of Marrickville, we're on the opposite end of Redfern. That's
33 minutes, you'd be halfway to Melbourne by then. You know what I mean?
I
On a
think-
flight, you wouldn't think that.
And so, yeah.
You wouldn't Redfern to Marrickville. You wouldn't say it takes the same time as halfway to Melbourne.
you wouldn't.
So think about that.
Yeah.
And Rodney, thank you for being here as well.
No, thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you. You told me you lived in share house for like 20 years or
Yeah,
so.
a long time.
Yeah, you've been around.
Yeah.
You just like dealt with a lot of different people's shit.
Yep. There's a lot of and shit in the house as well.
The other elephant in the room, sorry.
Mm.
You were both housemates.
That's not elephant.
It's not.
We were housemates in 2000 and ending in the COVID regime.
Ending in COVID.
During the pandemic is when we stopped
I
being
think we
housemates.
started. Yeah, I think
Because
it
we
was
had a few
29.
disagreements. He thinks it's real.
And
I think it happened quite close to the Epstein thing, and it's like pretty good cover up for the Clintons. Tried to ruin a
Suspiciously
good
close.
president's regime. Now we got Dirty Joe. Trying to push the vaccines on the common people.
you guys watch a lot of news during your
Oh yeah.
pandemic
Yeah.
lockdown.
He
Lot.
watches lamestream media. I listen to the real stuff. That's the real vaccine, you know.
Where are you getting your news from?
Various.com website. Various forums.
Sounds solid.
Other guys who know a lot about the world.
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
He's like a crisis actor.
Okay.
How does Aaron compare to some of the other people you've housed with?
Aaron's at the top.
Okay, great.
Oh, perfect. Brilliant. What are the chances?
Who's at the bottom then?
There was a couple. There was one guy who had a couple in him, and he thought running home down our street, running on top of cars, like physically running on top of cars.
All right, jumping on top. Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's drunk and he's running
Yeah,
on top of
and
cars.
he's a big fella.
Okay.
And then I was already home, and then him and his knucklehead mates were just telling it, I ran over a car. I said, what do you mean? He goes, ran over a car.
Which is like normally the pedestrian gets run over by
Yeah.
the car itself.
This guy did it in reverse. Ran on parked cars.
You lived with this person.
Yeah, briefly. And then I said, man, you can't do this. This is my street, man. Like, he just moved in.
Mm.
And then he told, I fell over, and then I fell over on the panel van. Like he jumped on the roof of the panel van and then fell over, and then jumped off. And then, hang on, what colour? He said, I was a white panel van. He said, yeah, hang on, that's my mate Mark who lives across the road. And I went and had a look at it the next day, and it was raining that night in the morning, or whatever. And then there was a dent and a puddle in his roof.
Oh.
So I had to tell my mate, 'cause, dude, that was my house.
So you kind of believe in snitching and stuff like that.
What do you do?
That's kind of one of the reasons we stopped living together as well.
Right,
Big
another
snitch energy. Yeah.
Well, I did
Well,
snitch.
who were you loyal? I mean, maybe it's a loyalty thing too. Like who you're loyal to, your neighbour or your new housemate.
If he didn't do any damage, I wouldn't have said anything. But there's a bit of, having a puddle on your roof. I don't think it's good for your car. So I told him.
That's meant to be on the ground.
Yeah. Puddle's meant to be on the ground. So I did tell him, and then and then he, my housemate got scared and then didn't come back to the house for ages because he contacted him.
Yeah.
He stayed at his mum's for a few weeks, and his stuff was still in the house. I said, man, you got to come. You haven't paid rent in 3 weeks. He goes, but I wasn't home. I said, man, still got to pay. The stuff's still there.
This guy sucks.
It'd be so good if that happened. Really, you just only paid rent for when you're in the house. That'd be pretty good.
On a daily basis, hourly.
Yeah.
even.
Who
So-
out of your house would pay the less rent if it was based on hourly usage?
We're at home a lot.
We're at home a lot,
But
but
now
we're
we're not.
We've just started full-time work, so we're out of the house a lot.
But we used to use like the house the most.
And
All
you guys
day.
are at ABC and SB, not SB.
Both ABC.
Both
ABC. And what do you think of some of their views?
It's you know
Are you working in the same show?
no.
Nah, different shows, different departments.
Do you guys
different
have
floors.
lunch together?
We walk together.
We walk together. Yeah.
And, do you walk
I
home
go,
together?
See you later.
Sometimes if we're leaving the office at the same time, we'd walk
The
home
same time.
together. Yeah.
Um,
We're the guests.
What show are you working on, Marty?
I'm in the investigations unit.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
For the news?
Yeah.
What's the latest investigation?
Well, I can't.
I guess
Oh,
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
But
What are you trying to find out from us? Because
Oh.
we're not going to tell you what you
Well, he
think.
will.
I'm
He
here to
clearly
inquire
will.
about
I won't say, I swear.
here to inquire about your previous lease that you guys had together.
Yes.
There are some discrepancies that we found on the
Yeah, your ledger.
on we've reviewed your ledger
Yeah.
and found some discrepancies in payment.
No, we paid every week.
Except
Good.
sometimes that
You-
it
apparently
didn't go through to you, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you freaked out.
I freaked out a little bit.
we found that the water bill wasn't paid, and there was something written in it about tenants refused to pay due to conspiracy theories about the water.
Yeah, because
So-
I put fluoride in it.
Yeah, that's one of Rodney's ones. I think it's good to drink. But one time, I think we just watched a documentary about water
Mm.
or something like that. Or like at the end of Big Short, they said the guy is now investing in water.
Yeah,
like the guy.
yeah.
Because there'll be water shortages soon.
Yeah, so
Smart.
after we watched that, like the next day, I open one of the drawers and I see at the top drawer there's just like a bottle of water filled up. I'm like, like a Mount Franklin bottle that's been used, but it's been filled up to the top. And I asked Rodney, he's like, what's going on here? Why do you have just a bottle of water? And he's like, it's for the coming water shortage.
I had to start somewhere, you know, so I just grabbed the first bottle I saw.
We had an old housemate who was like super into recycling and reusing, no wastage. And it was raining really heavily. So she just put a glass of water
my
outside to
God.
catch the rainwater.
Like a jar.
Just a jar. Just
Yeah.
watch it like all day. Just like the little droplets filled it up to the top. And we were just watching this jar just go up. And like, what are you going to do with it? She's like, I'm going to drink it. Got to the end of the day, jar's full. And then she just picked it up and poured it down the sink.
Oh my gosh.
Because she'd left it out so long and it had grown like some things.
Oh,
it
wow.
started, now there was a bit of bark in there. And
Oh, she could have boiled it, I reckon.
He refused to pay rent.
Yeah, well, he didn't. I had to explain to him that you can't just leave the house.
It's not a hostel.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a per day rate.
Yeah.
You guys lived together in Marrickville, is that correct? What was your
21
house like?
Marrickville.
Street.
21 Dog Dick Street, Marrickville.
Did you move in together at the beginning of the pandemic?
No, it was
Pandemic?
before.
No, you guys
it's
lived
before.
together before. I've been
Yeah.
to that house. It's quite a nice house. Very narrow.
It's very
It's
narrow.
the most narrowest
It's
house.
extremely narrow, extremely
in.
dark, and extremely wet.
Uh-huh.
Wet. What do you mean
Narrow.
wet?
He cops the wet more than me.
There was a lot of black mold in my what's it called? Like
Bedroom.
cupboard, and I had to spray exit
Ah.
mold on top of it.
Did it work?
A little bit, yeah, but all my stuff still smelled like mold going into
Yeah.
the next house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
And I was,
nightmare.
and I was scared of the backyard.
What was open in the backyard?
It was a scary tree.
A lot of creatures and stuff like that.
There was. And there was a lot
Really?
of weird...
Creatures that crawl, creep, and others.
Yeah, and the neighbours... There was a black tree, and it was scary. It was like something in a David Lynch nightmare.
That's not good.
But then I cleaned it up at one point.
Yeah, they got rid of the tree on the last week living there.
Yeah.
So I sort of went into the backyard and...
Mm.
Took it
this
out.
This is nice. They finally chopped down that tree.
How did you find living together?
That's private.
No, but let me ask you this
Yeah, I
though.
liked
Let me
it,
ask
yeah.
you this because like we used to live in Newtown,
Yeah.
Mm.
and you know same sort of area, Newtown, Marrickville. Like what I hated about that area was just the constant noise. We live right next to a train line, and then the planes going over.
And
you know.
trucks. Heaps of trucks came through. 'cause
Yeah, it
it
was-
wider street than most.
Mm.
So it was a big traffic route. A lot
for
of noise.
vans.
It wasn't
had
that no,
planes.
we had planes and also and thin walls because we were like
Oh, that's
the only terrace house, the only house that wasn't freestanding was our house.
Oh right.
yeah.
Everybody else had their own freestanding. We were in between two other houses. The only sandwiched house.
Ah.
Yeah,
and
right.
it was very like we heard the toilet flush to the neighbour.
Yeah.
Oh, right, both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Getting
right.
both
And
things
they
going.
heard us tooting, rooting, mucking about with one another.
Fair enough.
How are your neighbours?
it was all right. There was one neighbour who screamed.
Yeah, he screamed a lot, but mostly on the weekend.
Yeah, weekends and public
It's
holidays.
like blood curdling screaming as
Yeah.
well.
That's
Like just randomly any time of day?
It was mostly at night.
Yeah.
Mostly,
Mostly at the worst
afternoon.
time for it.
Yeah,
like he
weekend
has-
night.
like at night terrors.
We're thinking that, but is this like?
Is he a
like
returned
sometimes
veteran?
It started around 6, 7. But how wild it just turn on the weekends, you know?
Oh, only on the weekends.
Yeah.
But maybe he only visited on the weekend.
I stood at the front one Friday afternoon waiting for somebody to come in.
What?
I stood out the front of the house waiting for a visitor to come into the neighbour's house to see.
If it was like a visitor, not a person, like
Yeah,
not
like
someone who's
not-
living there,
yeah.
Screaming
and no one
visitor.
turned up.
No one turned up, and
So
the
it was-
screams still happened.
So it was someone who was living there. It was your neighbour, definitely for
Maybe
sure.
maybe
I
it's
reckon
the
he-
opposite of Garfield. He hates the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to text someone on his phone and he's getting annoyed because there's no reception.
Yeah, that could be.
No, you guys, you look. Sounds like you've done a lot of investigative work in your.
Yeah,
past.
we should get Marty on it.
Yeah, get my investigate.
Would you want to
this.
find out?
To find out about the scream.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could just go there during the weekend and you'll hear it. They scared the shit out of me when I first heard it because
This
Aaron
could be a
wasn't
good
home.
assignment.
Yeah.
It really, I thought
See
it was
what
some
the
guy.
ABC's made of.
I thought it was some guy out in the street, just screaming like a madman in the street, screaming.
Are you both reliable sources?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for that then.
Couldn't you complain to like your landlord or something? Like just there's
No,
noise
'cause
coming
it's-
next door.
Yes, you kind
No,
of feel
because
sorry
it
for
wasn't
him.
our landlord screaming.
Yeah.
But surely you'd know
Oh.
the property owners in the area. It could be like, hey, someone who's renting next door is.
Well, I asked my friend lived across the road.
Yeah.
And I asked her, and she said, "I don't know. We don't know what it is, but that's what happens."
Yeah, weekend
The
only.
screaming.
That's his time.
Yeah, right.
But no one really knew.
Did
And-
you guys get into anything during the lockdowns? Like, did you develop any hobbies? I got really into Facebook Marketplace
We
and
basically.
rough trade.
What's rough trade?
Record.
So
Oh.
on Facebook, you just
Oh.
trade items that you've got. Like, you put up a photo of like my bedside table, and then you say what kind of things you're looking for. So like, I can't
Yeah.
remember. I got rid of like a bedside table or something like that, and then I got a painting in return.
Did you
That's
say you
pretty
wanted
good.
a painting?
I said 3 things. I said like case of beer, painting, coffee table.
We mainly just watch Jeopardy. Yeah. And we watched The Sopranos as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but we
cool.
didn't finish, have we?
Nah, we still got one season to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice.
why Jeopardy?
What? Really?
It was just on.
Rodney loves trivia, and they got all of it on Netflix.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And had Alex Trebek passed away? Rest in peace. At this point.
Did
Yeah, he was still going then.
You
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that
that.
he died?
Yeah, he passed away.
When?
Like about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Oh my
Or a year
gosh.
ago.
Are you legit to Alex Trebek by Aaron Chen?
What is extreme sadness?
Said so aptly. Rest in peace. Yeah, did you get into anything else?
We did gardening, we did cooking.
We did gardening
did
for a
you?
bit, and then
You cook for each other?
yeah, Aaron cooked for me.
That's
Rodney cooked a few times.
Aaron was disgusted by my style of cooking sometimes.
Sometimes it was nice, but
Yeah.
sometimes it was really crazy.
I just did random things, not by the book, just
Kind
straight.
of like
I
alternative.
feel like me and you would have the same cooking styles. Just
Yeah.
put shit in shit, and then
Yeah.
it'll taste good.
That's what I did.
But the difference is the last part, you know. What was like the craziest thing you had?
I
was like,
can't remember what you just gone. That's so wrong. And I just said I think I made a pizza out of Lebanese bread, and then I put vegan cheese on it, and I put log gamna and as the base.
Yeah, the Chinese chili sauce.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then I think olives. On
This
top.
is no good.
What else? What else?
So salty.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, like there's some crazy stuff
Yeah.
on it.
And you were saying that's so fucking wrong.
Well, because, you've lived together for how long? Like a year, you
It
did?
was a bit more. Was it
More than a year.
two and a half?
How well do you guys think you know each other?
Medium.
Yeah, medium.
Medium rare.
Rare-ish medium.
Should we test them?
Let's test them. Let's do a little Q&A. All right. Here we go. I got some questions here.
Great.
Okay.
But do we have answer in Jeopardy style or just answer regular?
No, we tried that out as a test.
Trying
was
to figure out the concept of Jeopardy was very confusing.
Really confusing game.
Like, it's fun to watch, but we don't know. Like, you got to frame the questions in a certain way that they have
Yeah.
to answer in a question. It's
Yeah.
like, let's go. First question. Rodney,
Mm.
what expensive thing did Aaron purchase at the start of lockdown?
What is Ironcast's pan?
Iron cast pan? You can throw to Aaron. Aaron, is that correct?
Can I?
No,
Answer has been locked in.
Aaron, is it correct?
I did buy that, but that was before COVID, I think.
Was it?
The thing that I bought was
the knife?
the big pot.
Oh.
It was a
Yeah.
big pot, like a
Big
plant
pot.
pot or a cooking
A
pot?
cooking
pot.
pot.
Cooking pot.
It's
That
What
one.
orange.
for Luxes?
No, that's just racial stereotype.
Yeah, okay.
0.
Question for Aaron. What was Rodney's favourite meal that you cooked for him?
Oh, good question.
Something probably with chili in it.
I'm gonna need a bit more specificity.
Is it like something vegan?
Yeah, well, obvious.
I don't think Alex Trebek lets you eliminate
I was
possible
gonna
answers.
What is? Can I have like 3 hints?
Yeah.
But I don't know what you called it.
Then how do I answer it? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have
Just
on
describe it. Just describe it.
It's got like vegetables.
Yeah, and
And what else?
is it
It's
tofu?
probably a good.
Tofu.
You can't
Yeah,
feed him
that's
the
like-
answer, Rodney.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This is probably.
I don't know what he called it, so
So
This
it's
is a
like
good
got
moment in
beans
the
and
game.
tofu
Yeah,
and stuff like
that
that.
one.
And carrots.
yeah,
And like in little cubes or
yeah.
whatever.
And he put log gamma in it. Didn't he?
Yeah. And
Well, yeah, what was that
stir
called?
fry. It's just a stir fry.
It's just a stir fry.
This game's.
But there was a few others that had a top 3.
When you planned this game,
Yeah.
did you get the answers? Or
thought
did
that-
you think.
I thought-
You didn't ask me for the answers.
Well, that's so subjective as well.
That's why I let it open. 'Cause
I would
Rodney
assume.
reacts the same
Am I
way.
crazy for thinking they would know the answers?
Every meal that we ate together, Rodney would react the same way. It's like, yeah, it's not bad.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, how do I gauge what's the favorite?
There's
oh,
no
come on,
being
man,
able-
I just one of them that I really loved. It wasn't really a meal itself, but it was more of an entree
What was
Like,
it?
that you made fresh. It was, I loved it. It was fun. Sometimes you're going to your friend's house to take it, and then you said, "Oh, do you want one?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh, the shallot pancake.
Yeah, I love the shallot pancakes.
Yeah.
Fucking, that was good, man.
Yeah, this is a good game.
I think you described the ingredients.
Oh,
so I
the
think we're good.
tofu thing.
Yeah.
The cold tofu.
Yeah.
thing.
What do you call that?
Just cold tofu.
We've got a winner!
Aaron Chen, ding 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 ding. Congratulations.
Boys, thanks heaps for
Thank you. I'm
coming-
so sorry I was so late again.